Oh boy, do I love a safe homeless trip that won't end up on a deserted island, otherwise I can't wake up in the morning having some potato mashed, scrambled eggs, chicken, and of course, pancake. Guzzled down by a strawberry daiquiri. Virgin, of course. But what the boy didn't know was the ship was in fact crashing into an island with all his classmates on board. Not a single adult would live this shipwreck, and this would lead into mayhem for next who knows how long till help arrives.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Great, so now you're on an island with no government, very little supplies from a shipwreck, with 1,800 classmates with this island having the chance to have a bear. Or two. So, well, you decide, let's make a government so we can survive. Well, okay, let's look at our options. An absolute monarchy. That would be nice if you were the leader, but there's no guarantee in a real scenario people would choose you. Nor a scenario where everyone chooses the right person. Okay, we can have a democracy. That's a better idea. But that idea is boring, and if we're being honest, out of 1,800 kids, there are bound to be quite a few of students who want to venture the island and rule it, or be free from laws, as this place technically is not bound by any. Although, that government is not too out of reach. What about a republic? Alright, let us elect the people to choose the right choices, until you realize either one of them might turn corrupt, or a riot will occur because they wanted someone else elected, or they suspect that the representatives are in fact corrupt. Well, we have a theory. I'm going to stop you right there. Everyone knows this is the worst type of government, and we'd be dead in a week. Not everyone follows the same religion, and we all know how a government based on religion works based on history. So, let's try an anarchy. Oh, now that's a fun idea. Problem being is that like all the other forms of government, there are major obvious problems. So, let's try a semi-anarchy. A form of government with so few rules, it's practically an anarchy. And sure, this form of government is probably a bad idea, and not one everyone else would think. But I'm edgy like that, so we're continuing. So now, what rules can we lay down to have this as an acceptable form of government? Well, first off, we have to abide by everyone's inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we'll also add in property, since it was part of the original inalienable rights before it was kind of changed. So now everyone has a duty not to kill each other. No one is allowed to restrict their freedom, such as slavery. No one is allowed to bully or terrorize each other. And no one is allowed to rob from each other or claim their hard-earned work. And so with one rule, we have a pretty decent baseline. Now you're wondering, how do we settle conflicts? With no form of government, there really is no punishment for crimes. And I have a revolutionary idea that goes with anarchy and is equally fair. A coin toss. Now come on, how non-chaotic that will be. So, for example, if one side has an equal argument to the other, to which I mean no side has a clear answer, but no matter the outcome, nothing really negative comes from it, a coin toss will be made. But what about big issues like murder? Well, with only students around, and the fact that we're left on an island with no real detective skills, finding evidence would be hard, since I don't think anyone is a detective. This isn't Dr. Stone. But if it is absolutely clear someone had murdered the other because 4 or 5 people saw it, or we have enough evidence with like one witness, then the murderer needs to be murdered. But Mr. Narrator, murdering kids is unthinkable. Well, sorry that I want to live on an island with no murderers, especially an island inhabited by students that by majority can't build a jail to keep that murderer there for the next 50 years and the supplies to keep that murderer alive for 50 years, which means because he killed somebody, he will be given shelter and food for free. And it's not like we can just ban them to the edge of the island. They'll just come back to kill for more food or fun. Now, what will happen for a while? Well, most of the boys and girls will probably separate, grouping up with their prospective genders, and regardless of any government, some sort of boy versus girl battle will occur. But they will eventually be farming, no matter how bad it may be. They will be kind people who help each other, and since this isn't anarchy, people can grow up and make their own governments. As long as they remember, just because you created a government for your group, no one else needs to follow your rules. Well, I'm running low on time and I need full credit, so our island is called Madagascar. No relation to anything else. Well, I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk and my island, and you can see that this is the more reasonable outcome of events.